I don't usually, I'm not a bodybuilder, and I don't usually deliberately get all pumped up. If anything, I've got a tendency to balloon a bit, so I tend to do mostly isometric type lifts and holds, and that's mostly what grip training consists of. Yeah, basically my even though I've got a decent sized forearm, I think it's more functional when it's not sort of pumped up and full of blood and lactic and all that sort of thing. But I did used to do a lot of repetitive exercise for arm wrestling training, and this was used to be one of my favourite exercises. It's a 16-pound bowling ball, and I used to just sort of do lots of curls to sort of get that full range motion. So you can hit sort of a straight angle, or you can sort of do these kind of holds. That's sort of the top arm is kind of useful for the, funnily enough, for the grip tops lifts. Although, as you can see, my wrist deflects down very easily. I've got very little flexibility in that direction, so I'm sure a lot of people can do better than me with that kind of movement on, without losing their wrist. But it's not bad for the forearm. And then you can also basically work on your supinating angle. So it's sort of working on the inside, so it's almost working inside like that. It's already getting a good pump going on that. The other thing, an obvious one is hammer curls. Again, I have a problem with that wrist deflecting, because most of my exercise is pulling rather than sort of holding things on that wrist. So, yep. So, as far as functional parts of the arm, the inside sort of movement of the wrist is mostly on sort of that section, and funnily enough, even though that's sort of you can see that's fully sort of compressed like that, but if I'm doing hub lifting, it actually combines sort of power across that part of the forearm as well, so that you get a bit of separation in the forearm. So difficult light, but you can see that on an extensor kind of a movement, you can see that that's sort of separating from that, just sort of showing two different areas that sort of get tested. That sort of extension is more on the setup for something like a very broad hub, like a ball ring, and then for the actual, believe it or not, that extension does help with the close as well. I don't know why, but I often do rubber bands, and it seems to help with the lifts with hub lifting, to actually just do sort of jazz hand exercises. As far as the more the sort of key pinch type things, where I really feel it is the top there. So it's basically, I don't know, if I pull up like that, you can see there's sort of two main regions that sort of get hit on halfpenny and stub. It seems to be that area, especially near the elbow, and sort of that area there. Again, a lot of you'll know the technical terms for these. I'm not technical. All I am is I just train a lot. So there's that. There's that. There's sort of that for the just straight wrist. What else? I don't suppose it. I mean, there's not really a lot of things where I deliberately do extending of the wrist, because in arm wrestling and in grip training we try not to want to extend the wrist beyond neutral. So again, it's even though the forearm looks big all round, you can see there's not really a big development on the back end of it. I'm trying to think what else would be useful. I think on some of the more supportive lifts there is a kind of a use of that full range. So certainly when I'm doing something like a horn top, but yeah, there's definitely feels like it's using that side as well. So yeah, so sort of functional parts of the forearm as far as the way I see it from a very untechnical point of view, anyway.